Good afternoon, patrons, students, and staff of Grace Joint School District. Yesterday, the State Board of Education met and determined a statewide closure for all schools in the state of Idaho. This is the first time that we've had a statewide determination to close all schools. So the State Board of Education established April 20th as the next day where they'll reassess the safety of our students in regard to the coronavirus. This is important because they gave us some guidelines and some clear expectations on some key issues that we've had in the district. First of all, our closure was instigated by our local school board and myself as determined what was best for our students. This is a statewide closure, and so now it gives some definitions of some terms that I would like to go over with you today. First of all, the state determined what a soft closure versus a hard closure would be. Basically, what a soft closure is what we've been doing. It's that our staff and our facilities are still available for instruction. The state board determined that the role of a school district during this closure or during this time of the coronavirus and its spread is to facilitate learning and provide services for students, and so we are continuing to do that. So we will facilitate learning and we will continue to provide services. Our staff is available. Our hours are 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And so that is how we've been functioning, as in a soft closure. Our staff continues to work. Our teachers continue to prepare. I'm sure you've seen the evidence of that preparation as your students are now starting to get their homework assignments either in hard packets or online through Google Classroom. I'd encourage you to check with your students and to make sure that they are accessing Google Classroom, that they are accessing that material. If you're having problems, we're a couple days into full instruction in this week. See how it's going for your students. We need to know, but you need to know also so we can offer them some support. First of all, specific to a soft closure, facilities are available, staff is available, opportunities for students to access the internet through the computer labs, that's going to continue to be available. But the facilities for use of the public, generally they're not available for public use. In a hard closure, which is what's happened in some states, I know that neighboring states have just said we're hard closure. That means we lock the doors, facilities aren't available, staff's not available, and everybody just goes home and lays low. But that's not what the state has asked us to do. The state has asked us to continue to facilitate the education and instruction of our students. One of the things that you'll need to be aware of is that in an online format, the state has taken the 990 required hours in a school year, and they've reduced that to 4.5 hours per day as we go through this closure. So what that means is that we should provide your student with 4.5 hours of instructional material. It may take some students 2 hours. It may take some students a lot longer. But what we need to know is we need your feedback on how your student is being able to access the information and how much work it's requiring of each student. Because if we get that disproportionate, then we as teachers need to make some adjustments. A couple of things that we've tried to encourage our teachers to do. We've encouraged them to use Google Meet as well as Google Hangouts as well as Zoom. The difference in this kind of instruction is that the students are able to interact with each other. And I know right now a lot of students are saying, can't we just go back to school? Part of that is that they're tired of being in the home, but another part of that is they miss that interaction with their students. So as your teachers set up those specific meeting times, you're going to need to make sure that your students are available and logged in so that they can participate in that interaction with their peers. We've boosted the Wi-Fi and its availability in the district. We've put in another access point at the high school right by the student parking lot, in which if you're having trouble with your internet at home, you can come to that parking lot and you can access that Wi-Fi. Students grades 7 through 12, when you get to the filter, it'll be your same username and password as you use at school to access the internet. Students in grades K through 6 contact the district office and we'll get you a username and password so that you can access that internet also through that Wi-Fi. One other thing that we want to talk a little bit about is spring break. We're going to honor spring break. Spring break is going to continue to be April 1st through the 6th. There will be no homework, no coursework, no schoolwork assigned during that time. And I'd encourage you to take that opportunity to reset, refresh, and hopefully reboot as we try to finish up the school year strong. One thing that we wanted to talk a little bit about, the state waived the ISAT requirement. So that state standardized test that you have every year, we're not going to have that this year, which is a great thing because students are going to learn at different paces in this new online format. Another thing to be aware of, the state has provided a site specific to the coronavirus. It's coronavirus.idaho.gov. Please go there, access some of those resources. There's resources for families. There's additional resources for you in educating your children as well as those. That's where we go as a school district to see what's the latest insights on the coronavirus for the school district. A couple of things that I'd like you to consider. One is that as we go through times like a lockdown, like a quarantine, like your families are going through, it's easy to get tense. It's easy to be annoyed by each other. So I encourage you to establish some family routines, establish a bedtime, establish a wake-up time. Get your routine established. That's one of the things that helps students when they go to school is that they have to get up, they have to get going, they have to get dressed, they need to shower, they need to get on clothes, fresh clothes so that they can be geared up and ready for the day. I'd encourage you to do that as well. Also, get outside. Take opportunity to explore and learn in real time in the environment that you live. We live in a wonderful place. Another thing is do some family projects. Try to determine some family projects, whether those are craft projects or work around the house, where you can be united in a common goal and put forth common effort. That will help with your relationships as well. Also look for opportunities to serve people who are in need. I think that as we think about other people other than ourselves, that helps us feel better generally. One of my favorite quotes is, "We are who we are regardless of setting or circumstance." And so we've always been a high-performing school district, and we expect to continue to be high-performing. But the only way we're able to do that is if we have high expectations. So have expectations for your students. Encourage them. Find out why they haven't been logging in to a specific class, or find out why they haven't reached out to a teacher. Push them. One of the things that makes us great is that we have great families and we have great family support. So continue to do that. Even though we're unsettled and we realize that things aren't in our control largely, we can still take control over how we respond. One of the things that we need to remember is if we worry about things that we cannot control, those things eventually control us. So let's control the things that we can control. Let's establish high expectations for learning. Let's work hard to make the best of this situation. And I know as we do that we'll all be lifted together. Thank you.